Gracias por acompañarme en esta edición de ¿Qué pasa Polk? Yo soy Anita Rivera y hoy usted aprenderá acerca de las acciones de la Comisión del Condado de la Reunión del último de noviembre 3 en nuestra Junta. La Junta aprobó su declaración de política legislativa del 2016, especificando dónde se encontrará y se concentrará en los esfuerzos de cabildeo durante la sesión legislativa del 2016. También la Junta aprobó un contrato núcleo de renovación con el Departamento de Salud de Florida en el condado de Polk de $380,000 para proporcionar servicios de control de la enfermedad. Estos servicios son pagados a través del Fondo Healthcare Indigentes y se contratan a través de septiembre del 2016. Al igual, la Junta aprobó un acuerdo con ACOM Services técnicos de $360,000 para proporcionar servicios profesionales de ingeniería en apoyo de las reubicaciones de servicios públicos a lo largo del US 27 de US 98 al sur de Harvard Avenue en Frostproof. Con el fin de tomar ventaja de las tasas de endeudamiento actuales y futuras para reducir la deuda del condado, el condado emitió una solicitud de propuestas para un préstamo del banco exentos de impuestos para refinanciar $19 millones en circulación para el reembolso constitucional, combustible, ingresos de esos impuestos del condado y los bonos. Recibieron 7 propuestas con Bank of America ofreciendo la menor tasa de 2.01%. Esto proporcionará un ahorro anual estimado de $230,000 desde el año 2016 hasta el año 2027, para un ahorro total estimado de $2.049 millones. ¡Wow! En otras noticias, el Consejo también proclamó el 6 de noviembre Día de David P. Lyons. Hija, señor Lyons aceptó la proclamación. Felicidades. El Polk County Tax Collector Joe Tedder agradeció a la Junta de Comisionados del Condado de apoyo a la Oficina del Recaudador de Impuestos en su viaje Premio Sterling. Andy McIntyre de Indie Atlántico Films y Chris Keprios de la División de Marketing Deportivo Turismo mostró el nuevo video sobre Polk desarrollado como parte de la nueva campaña de marketing o de mercadeo del Consejo de Desarrollo Turístico en nuestro condado. Sarah Roberts, directora ejecutiva de Polk Vision, presentó su informe anual. Y también en las audiencias públicas, la Junta autorizó fiscal del condado a Michael Craig a tomar medidas en relación con Servicios Republic, violar los residuos residenciales y reciclaje, acuerdo de contactos de recogida. El fiscal del condado estaba autorizado a 1. Mantener los servicios de Morrison Valoración y servicios forenses. Mantener también los servicios de John Throne de Valenti, Campbell, Tron, Tamayo, Arranda, PA y entregar requerimiento a la República en relación con las reclamaciones y controversias. Comienza la retención de una parte a la totalidad de los pagos a la República, a los Republic Services pendiente, y continuar con la evaluación de los daños y perjuicios que correspondan. Así que también la Junta aprobó una resolución de desocupar una parte del derecho de vía a la sombra de color amarillo en nuestra pantalla, que se encuentra al sur de Adair Road en Davenport. También la Junta aprobó una resolución desocupar una parte del derecho de vía a la sombra que ven en el color amarillo que se encuentra entre St. Anne Santuario Road y la Serpiente de Cascabel Road en Lake Wales. La Junta aprobó una solicitante inició enmienda al Plan Integral de Pequeña Escala. El cambio de la futura designación de uso de la tierra en aproximadamente la mitad de acres se indica en amarillo y se sitúa fuera de Comby Road en Lakeland, desde residencial menor a enclave comercial. Y la Junta aprobó un solicitante inicio enmienda al Plan Integral de Pequeña Escala, el cambio de la futura designación de uso de la tierra en aproximadamente 10 acres. Se indica en amarillo del corredor comercial lineal de barrio centro de actividades dentro de un área de crecimiento urbano. También la Junta aprobó un solicitante inicio en enmienda al Plan Integral de Pequeña Escala. El cambio de la futura designación de uso de la tierra en aproximadamente 8 acres se indica en amarillo de agrícola y residencial rural y el comercial enclave al centro cluster rural y institucional dentro de una zona rural, área de desarrollo. Al igual, la Junta votó por unanimidad para negar sin perjuicio de una solicitud para transmitir una enmienda del Plan Integral a gran escala para cambiar la designación de uso de la tierra en el 107 de acres. Así que son 107 acres que están en esa designación. Se indica en amarillo en nuestro foro. De fosfato, minería e lesuar recreación en el área de desarrollo rural. Y por último, la Junta aprobó la modificación y reformulación de extensión del condado de Polk, indigentes, cuidado y ciudad ordenanza para corregir al terror de un escribano con respecto a la fecha de finalización de la recaudación del impuesto. Así que eso es todo por hoy y la revisión de nuestra reunión, de nuestra Junta, pero estamos, y no se me vaya, atentos porque vamos aquí a hablar de muchas cosas importantes porque viene esa época muy importante. Así que no se me vayan.
Por las cosas que nos pueden mantener seguros, las que usamos todo el tiempo sin pensarlo, las que aguardan en silencio a salvarnos la vida. Y ahora, las que llevamos con nosotros a donde vayamos. Muchos dispositivos móviles ahora ofrecen alertas inalámbricas de emergencia, información en tiempo real de fuentes locales en las que confías. Con su sonido y vibración particular, estarás al tanto donde quiera que estés.
Otra vez a ¿Qué pasa Polk? Bueno, ya pasó el mes de la hispanidad. Ahora vamos a empezar con la fiesta de verdad, que la celebra todo el mundo, sea hispano, chino, americano, polaco. Todo el mundo va a celebrar lo que es el Día de Gracia, que es Thanksgiving, y pues después de eso, las Navidades. Merry Christmas, como dicen la gente en mi pueblo. Pero durante esa época, uno tiene que siempre estar vigente, mi gente, en lo que son las lucecitas, cómo se cocina el pavo, todas esas cosas que a veces traen problemas y traen emergencias. Así que hoy tenemos con nosotros a Brad Ruhmann, que nos va a decir todo de lo que es cocinar un pavo en un fryer, de que si las luces, que si los días de celebración del nuevo día, el nuevo año, todas esas cosas y cómo uno puede hacerlo sin tener una tragedia. Así que bienvenidos a ¿Qué pasa Polk? Brad, thank you for coming. Y hoy va a ser en inglés, así que no se preocupen, así que todo el mundo va a aprender. So tell me, what are we going to be talking about in this great holiday season that we are now basically upon us?
Yeah, it's really just, it's hard to believe that it's already November, and in like just a couple weeks away we have Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's. So
oh my God.
I really wanted just to take a chance to kind of wrap those all into one and talk about some of the safety tips that the Polk County Fire Rescue wants to get out there.
Yeah.
We get this time we get to spend with our families, which is always great. There's always food involved at my house, at least.
And my house too.
And lots of it. You can probably, the camera adds 10 pounds, so I probably should have hit my diet about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but we'll be starting that here real quick. But we'll talk about cooking first, because that's really near and dear to my heart.
That's the nucleus of that day of Thanksgiving. That's exactly how it starts. It's the cooking. Somebody's in charge of decorating, pulling out the tree out of the attic,
right.
and everything like that. And then there's those who are cooking, and those who are drinking, and those who are screaming, playing games, watching football. So during that craziness, we kind of get lackadaisical and forget that something may happen.
That's right. That's right. Well, cooking fires are the #1 cause of home fires in America, and actually Thanksgiving Day, that's 3 times the national average just on Thanksgiving Day. So we want to make sure that that time of festivities and that time of family and fun and football at our house as well, stays that fun time and not a time of tragedy. So we want to make sure that folks that are having these times are really making sure that everything's away from the stove, that there's no oven mitts or towels close to the stove as they're cooking, that they're staying in the kitchen. We want to. The big things are frying, broiling, and grilling in the kitchen. If they're doing anything on the stove, we want to make sure that they're staying right there next to it. If they're baking, if they're boiling, if they're roasting, that's fine for them to maybe leave the kitchen for a few minutes, but they're keeping an eye on things. But staying in the kitchen while stuff is on the stovetop. Also, to stay alert. I mean, you mentioned the fun festivities of some adult beverages every once in a while, but if you're getting sleepy and not really paying attention, or maybe had a couple of extras, then you might not want to do the cooking and have somebody else that's going to be in charge of that. Or cater it. Exactly, that's an excellent idea, and I'm sure that we have some really great caterers here in the county as well. If you do have a fire, though, because occasionally, things happen. We realize that accidents happen. So the #1 thing we say is get out and stay out. There's nothing more important than your life and the lives of your loved ones. So you want to get everyone out of the house. Call 911 after you leave. But if it is something that you're going to choose to fight, if you have a fire extinguisher close and you think, all right, it's small, it's not getting very big, and you know that you have the resources there to extinguish that fire. One, you want to make sure everyone else is getting out if you're going to fight the fire. That you have a clear exit, so if something does go wrong, that you can, book it.
Take off. Exactly,
and make sure that someone is already calling 911, and that's the big thing. We always say to keep a lid next to the stove. If you do have something spark up or flare up, you can put that lid on to extinguish it. Or a fire extinguisher is always important. If you have a fire in the oven, then we just say turn off the heat source, so turn off the oven and leave the door closed. Don't open that. Call 911 and let the professionals come in and open that, because they'll have the proper tools needed in order to extinguish that fire if it does spark up.
We have a ritual in my house. My husband doesn't know how to cook, but he knows how to turn on the oven for self-cleaning. And our ritual is always around big events like this, is to make sure that our oven is clean. Because sometimes we have a tendency of getting lackadaisical, and we forget that there were droppings from a previous recipe that we did. And those things, for me, I find spark up the flames. And if you are cooking a turkey, make sure that turkey fits well in the pan. I know that a lot of people buy those disposable pans so that they don't have to go through the washing. You know what? It's worth you washing. Yeah. Because if you get a sturdy pan, you won't have any leakage. Because there's always someone that comes over, like either the mom or the mother-in-law. She says, let me poke and check and see how the meat's going. And she may poke right through it, and then she'll put a hole in that aluminum fan, and that grease starts to pour down. And that's what starts to spark up. And so that's what I learned from weigh little, get yourself a sturdy pan.
Sure.
And you avoid also the hot liquid to fall on you.
Right.
That's another burn.
Right.
So
they're flimsy. You're trying to get that heavy bird out of the oven. And
yeah,
it's
especially
nice
a 20-pounder or something. You get a big bird because you got a big family.
That's right.
So you know, my mother does things in a way that she says, I'm going to have a lot of people. I'm going to have 2 pans with 2 birds. I'm not going to go with the huge bird.
Sure.
Because I guess that's to make pictures look right. I'm not here to take pictures. I'm here to eat.
It's right. It's all about the taste.
Everything about the taste.
Yeah.
So they got to watch. Now, if how can they find out? You said a fire extinguisher. How current should they have their fire extinguisher?
Sure. Their fire extinguishers need to be inspected. They can have them recharged and inspected at a local like fire safety or fire extinguisher repair shop, but they need to have them checked every year. So every 12 months they need to make sure that they either replace the one that they have or have them recharged and checked at a local provider.
It looks like we're going to have to check ours because I know ours wasn't checked last year.
Yes.
So it could be old or get myself a new one.
Right. And a lot of times if you have a fire extinguisher and you're trading it in, it's actually relatively inexpensive from the local providers here. You know, they've got a bunch of them that they're already charged and ready to go, and they're able to reuse your expired one. So a lot of times they'll just swap them out for a very reasonable price, probably less than $20.
Now these people that have like the flat top cook surfaces like myself, they think that it don't catch on fire. It does.
It does. It does catch on fire. Those surfaces get extremely hot. So it's not uncommon for pans that are, maybe if the burner's turned on and there's nothing in that pan, that can actually melt the glass, that glass top, and fuse that to the pan. It's very dangerous. So you want to make sure that if that burner is on, that there is something, and you have a pan on there or a kettle or something like that, that there's water or food or something in that. Yes, because those can be very dangerous. So they get extremely hot, just as hot as the regular coil burners or a gas burner. I mean, it's you're cooking with fire either way, whether or not it's a flat surface, the coil burners, or you're cooking with gas.
Now, something that's not a trend, but is very popular here in Florida, because I never saw it when I lived up in New York, was the turkey fryer safety.
Yes.
So
turkey fryers, fried turkeys are really good. They keep the meat very moist. You've got a nice crispy outside. It's not like a fried chicken where it's super greasy and breaded, but they really are very, very good, but they can be very dangerous.
Yes.
So, but done properly, they can be enjoyed. I think they're very, very, very well done and very moist meat. And so we want to make sure that first off, if you are going to fry a turkey, that you have a flat level surface that you're doing that. Once you fill that with oil, then it becomes very top heavy. So you want to make sure that you have a flat surface. You want to make sure that you're at least 10 feet away from the house, because if there is a flare up, you don't want to be right next to a house with awning and melting the awning or the fascia off the house. Yes, so it can happen. Exactly. It can be very dangerous. You want to make sure that you're using a completely thawed and dry turkey whenever you're dropping it in.
Not frozen.
Not frozen. You're not frying from frozen. And the reason why is because that moisture, that water essentially that is on the turkey, is going to cause that just a very violent boiling, which can cause it to boil over, and then underneath you've got your heating source, your grease, and you're going to have a fire on your hands. So you want to make sure that you're using a completely thawed and dry turkey. And they really are delicious, and we have several other tips. We actually did a PSA about this not too long ago, and so people can go to PGTV's YouTube page, and there's a public service announcement that Polk County Fire Rescue did that is on there. We kind of talk about all these steps in detail, and that would be a great place for them to go.
So vamos a ver sobre lo que él acaba de decir del pavo, como lo hacen así en la urna esa que uno lo tiene así en esa olla bien grande, la olla que nosotros usamos para hacer pasteles. Vamos a ver cómo ellos estaban describiendo eso. So let's toss over to a quick view of how a turkey is tossed in, okay? Y me dejan saber lo que piensan.
I'm Brad Ruhmann with Polk County Fire Rescue. Fried turkeys are delicious, but they come with a slew of safety issues. Thousands of fires, injuries, and even deaths occur each year from turkey fryers. Before you set up your turkey fryer, remember these safety tips. First, stay away from the house. Anything less than 10 feet puts your home in danger. Also, keep kids and pets away and never leave it unattended. Next, you want to find flat ground. That being said, it should always be done outdoors. That means never on a deck or in the garage or covered patio. This is a good place to talk about what you're going to need. First, you'll need a heavy-duty portable propane burner, a large stock pot, 26 to 40 quarts in capacity, but preferably a custom-made turkey frying pot. A heavy-duty cooking thermometer, and this is a must. We'll talk about why in just a minute. Lastly, you'll need a tool that will allow you to safely lower the turkey into and out of the vat of boiling oil. You want to be careful not to overfill the fryer. To determine how much oil you're going to need, place a completely thawed turkey on the stand and then put it in the fryer. Add water until the turkey is barely covered. Remove the turkey, allowing the water to drain back into the fryer, and then mark this line. You could use a piece of masking tape because you'll remove it before you heat the oil. Use this line as a guide when adding oil to the pot. Closely monitor the temperature. Deep fryers have the potential to overheat oil to the point of combustion, and use extreme caution when touching the fryer. The lid and handles can become dangerously hot, creating severe burn hazards. Be sure to use well-insulated pot holders or oven mitts and wear long sleeves. Eye protection and closed-toed shoes is a great idea to protect from splatter as well. You always want to be prepared. Have a multi-purpose dry powder fire extinguisher ready at all times. You could also use baking soda for a small fire that's contained to just the pot. You never want to use water or flour. Water does not mix with grease and can cause the fire to intensify. And flour, although looks a lot like baking soda, won't react the same. Now let's talk turkey. After taking off the wrapper, removing and discarding the neck and giblets, pat the turkey dry with paper towels. Add oil to the fill line, as previously measured from the water, and preheat the oil to 375 degrees. While the oil is heating, prepare the turkey with any seasonings, marinades, or injected flavors that you desire. Once the oil is hot, turn the burner off and slowly lower the turkey into the hot oil. Slowly lowering the turkey helps prevent the oil from bubbling over. When the turkey is in, turn the burner back on. Cook the turkey about 3 to 4 minutes per pound. When the turkey is done, slowly lift it from the pot and place it in a pan or on paper towels to drain. The turkey is done when the dark meat has an internal temperature of 175 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, and the white meat has an internal temperature of 165 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. It is hard to beat the speed and incredible juiciness of a deep fried turkey, but done properly, it can be enjoyed by everyone. Enjoy yours this holiday season, but stay safe.
Wow, ¿vieron eso? Así que tengan mucho cuidado que nosotros nos olvidamos, nos damos la cervecita o el vinito o tenemos la casa llena de gente y se olvidan de que hay que tener mucho ojo con lo que está pasando con la comida. So now we've gone through the turkey, parade,
Yes.
put it that way. Now we come into Christmas.
That's right.
What are our audience needing to know, especially about lights and trees and safety and heating and even New Year's Eve with festivities like that? What can we do to stay safe and still have fun?
Well, we still have our family coming over. We still have those group gatherings with our friends as well. So we want to make sure there's a couple of things. Our decorations that we use, lights specifically, we're inspecting those lights, looking for frayed wires, looking for broken bulbs, looking for any kind of maybe a broken socket. Those pose very high electrocution hazards and fire hazards. So we want to throw those away and buy new.
Especially those that are left outside from last year.
We always say at the end of the year, to take your lights down, and not just for your neighbor's sake, because they don't want to look at Christmas lights all year, but also that really degrades the integrity of those wires. They're not going to last you very long if you leave them on your house. It's a safety hazard. It really is. I know it's convenient to keep them up, but it really is dangerous. So we want to make sure you take those lights down, that you're using proper indoor or outdoor lights. There are lights that are rated for outdoor use. You want to make sure that you're using outdoor lights outside and you're not using indoor lights outside, because that is another huge safety risk. You want to make sure that your decorations, if you're using candles, that they're away from where children can get them. They have some very realistic looking alternative candles with the little light bulbs. They are made of wax, so they look very realistic. That really is a great way to go where you're not going to have that fire hazard. Mints and nuts that are left out on tables are huge choking hazards. Lift those up or get rid of them altogether. And also lighters. That's one thing that we kind of forget about a lot of times, but lighters being left out from your lighting the candles or lighting maybe a smelly good candle for the season. We want to make sure that you get those get put away as well. Christmas trees, whether you have a artificial tree or a real tree, they still pose a fire risk. So you want to make sure if you have a pre-lit artificial tree that you're checking the lights on that as well and getting replacing any kind of broken lights. If you have a real tree, you want to make sure that that is very well watered. A well-watered tree versus a dry tree, it really is seconds before that dry tree is completely engulfed in flames.
I've seen videos of
yes,
that.
It really, they're very dangerous if they're not maintained. If they are maintained, they can be safe. They're they smell up the house. It smells good. They look very pretty. But we want to make sure that those stay watered and that you always turn off the Christmas lights before you leave the house.
Yeah.
Whether I know it looks nice in the house, but we want to make sure we turn those off before you go to bed, before you leave the house, and that whenever your tree is dry, that you get rid of it. It means you want to wait till Christmas, you want to keep it up till New Year's, but once it's dry, it's very important that you get rid of the tree.
And heaters, I know a lot of people use heaters, so you need to.
That's right. Yeah. Heaters, you want to make sure that you give a 3-foot safe zone for pets and kids. That safe zone should include drapery, your bed, anything that can catch fire.
Even your tree.
Keep away. Exactly. You want to make sure that you inspect those, that you clean those, that you get dust and lint and dirt off of those things. And then that would be probably the biggest pieces. Once we get to New Year's, there's just a couple of very quick things about New Year's. In Florida, sparklers are the only thing that are legal. The state fire marshal says if it launches or explodes, it's illegal. So sparklers are the only, although other stuff is sold in the state, it is legal to sell it, but it is not legal to ignite it. So you want to make sure that you are following the law and taking the proper precautions. Sparklers get very hot enough to melt gold. So you want to make sure that you're being very safe with those as well. And we want to make sure that everyone has fun. So be safe, have fun, and follow the law as well.
Well, Brad, thank you so much. Oh my God. Que mucha información para nosotros mantener esta época tan linda que nosotros queremos tanto en desear y disfrutar. Así que cuídense, coman bien, pero cuiden bien a su familia durante esta época porque es muy importante. Así que ya llegó la Navidad, señores, así que vamos a disfrutarla. Así que nos vemos en nuestro próximo programa que va a ser en noviembre 19 y no se lo pierdan en YouTube, en PGTV, en nuestra página de Facebook. Y ya llegó el momento para todo el mundo disfrutar. Así que Dios me los cuide y ahí nos vemos otra vez en ¿Qué pasa Polk? Yo soy Anita Rivera. Chao.